Welcome to another fascinating journey through art history. In today's video, we'll delve into the life and legacy of one of the most iconic figures of the Renaissance, Michelangelo. From his early years in Florence to sculpting masterpieces like the Pieta and David, and his awe-inspiring work on the Sistine Chapel ceiling, Michelangelo's genius left an indelible mark on the art world. Join us as we explore the incredible story of this artist, his contributions to sculpture, painting and architecture, and the lasting impact that makes him a timeless symbol of artistic brilliance. Let's uncover the captivating tale of who was Michelangelo. Michelangelo Buonarroti was a very talented artist during the Italian Renaissance. He was a painter, sculptor, architect, and poet. Michelangelo started as an apprentice to a painter and later studied in the sculpture gardens of the influential Medici family. He had a successful career known for his artistic skills. Despite considering himself a Florentine, he spent most of his life in Rome and passed away at the age of 88. Michelangelo was born on March 6, 1475, in Caprese, Italy, as the second of 5 sons. His father, Leonardo di Buonarroti Simoni, was briefly a magistrate in Caprese, but the family moved back to Florence when Michelangelo was very young. Because his mother, Francesca Neri, was unwell, Michelangelo was cared for by a family of stonecutters. He humorously mentioned, "With my wet nurse's milk, I sucked in the hammer and chisels I use for my statues." Instead of focusing on school, he preferred watching painters at nearby churches and drawing what he saw. His friend Francesco Granacci may have introduced him to painter Domenico Ghirlandaio. Recognizing Michelangelo's disinterest in the family business, his father agreed to apprentice him to Ghirlandaio's workshop at the age of 13. There, he learned fresco technique and studied classical sculpture in the gardens of Lorenzo de' Medici. Despite spending only a year at Ghirlandaio's workshop, Michelangelo received a unique opportunity thanks to his mentor's recommendation. During these formative years, Michelangelo had access to Florence's social elite, studied under sculptor Bertoldo di Giovanni, and interacted with poets, scholars, and humanists. He also gained permission from the Catholic Church to study cadavers for anatomical insight, though it had negative effects on his health. These influences shaped Michelangelo's distinctive style, characterized by muscular precision, realism, and lyrical beauty. Notably, at the age of 16, he created impressive relief sculptures such as Battle of the Centaurs and Madonna seated on a step. After Lorenzo de' Medici's death, political turmoil made Michelangelo leave for Bologna, where he continued his studies. He returned to Florence in 1495, starting his sculpting career and drawing inspiration from classical art. An intriguing story surrounds Michelangelo's Cupid sculpture, which was artificially aged to look like an antique. One version suggests Michelangelo aged it for a specific patina, while another claims his art dealer buried it to pass it off as ancient. Cardinal Riario bought the sculpture thinking it was antique and demanded a refund upon discovering the deception. Surprisingly, he admired Michelangelo's talent and let him keep the money, inviting him to Rome, where Michelangelo spent the rest of his life. Despite Michelangelo's brilliance, his contentious personality and quick temper strained relationships, especially with superiors. This, along with his pursuit of perfection and inability to compromise, led to dissatisfaction. He faced spells of melancholy, expressing his struggles in literary works. Over time, his health suffered from the demands of his work, documented in a poem about painting the Sistine Chapel ceiling. Political unrest in Florence and rivalry with Leonardo da Vinci added to his challenges. In his later years, Michelangelo's poetic expression complemented his art. Although never married, Michelangelo had a close relationship with Vittoria Colonna, a pious widow, inspiring over 300 poems and sonnets. Their friendship remained a source of comfort until Colonna's death in 1547. Michelangelo's most famous works. After Michelangelo moved to Rome in 1498, Cardinal Jean Bilhere de la Gralla, a representative of the French king Charles VIII, commissioned him to create the Pieta, a sculpture of Mary holding the dead Jesus. At just 25, Michelangelo finished the work in less than a year, and it now stands in St. Peter's Basilica in Vatican City. The Pieta is carved from a single piece of Carrara marble, displaying fluid fabric, impactful poses, and lifelike skin, evoking awe from viewers. It is the only work bearing Michelangelo's name, as he boldly carved his signature to correct mistaken attributions. Between 1501 and 1504, Michelangelo took on the commission for the David statue, transforming a 17-foot block of marble into a powerful figure. Originally meant for Florence's cathedral, it now resides in Florence's Accademia Gallery, representing the city's strength and humanity. Pope Julius II redirected Michelangelo from sculpture to painting, leading to the renowned Sistine Chapel ceiling. Completed in 1512, the masterpiece incorporates Christian symbolism, prophecy, and humanist principles. Despite challenges, including the need for reconstruction due to fungus, Michelangelo worked alone, creating over 300 figures, with the creation of Adam being the iconic centerpiece. In 1541, Michelangelo unveiled the Last Judgment on the chapel's far wall, facing criticism for its nudity. In response, he portrayed his chief critic as a devil and himself as the flayed St. Bartholomew within the fresco. While continuing to sculpt and paint, Michelangelo shifted his focus to architecture, working on projects like the tomb of Julius II, the Medici Chapel, and the Laurentian Library in Florence. His pinnacle in architecture came when he became the chief architect of St. Peter's Basilica in 1546. Michelangelo passed away on February 18, 1564, just before his 89th birthday, at his home in Mascelle de Corvey, Rome, after a short illness. His nephew transported his body back to Florence, where the public revered him as the father and master of all the arts. Michelangelo chose the Basilica di Santa Croce as his final resting place. Unlike many artists, Michelangelo gained fame and wealth during his lifetime. Interestingly, he lived to see the publication of 2 biographies about his life, written by Giorgio Vasari and Ascanio Condivi. Michelangelo's artistic mastery has been appreciated for centuries, making his name synonymous with the finest humanist tradition of the Renaissance.